Hello, this is Kia here. You guys know that I mainly post ASMRs, like the audio ASMRs on my channel, but we're going to try something a little bit different. So tonight I'm going to be reading you guys a bedtime story that's called Goodnight, Wembley, Fraggle by H.B. Gilmore. Pictures by Barbara McClintock. So just get cozy, get your stuffed animals, get whatever you need, and let us start the story, shall we? Gobo, are you awake? Gobo opened one eye sleepily. There was an eye staring back at him. Gobo opened his other eye. There was another eye staring back at him, and a worn furry nose pressed against his own worn furry nose. "Oh, good," said Wembley. "You're awake. I was afraid you missed all the fun." "What fun?" Gobo yawned and looked around the cozy cave he shared with Wembley. "It's the middle of the night. Go back to sleep, Wembley." With a sigh, Wembley climbed up the ladder and go into his bed. Wembley couldn't sleep. For 3 nights in a row, he tossed and turned and worried about what everyone else in Fraggle Rock was doing. "I bet they're having a good time," he thought. "They just never wake me up to tell me." He curled up on his right side, but the bed felt hot. He rolled on his left side and found a lumpy spot. Lying on his tummy felt crummy, so he stretched out on his back. "Gobo, how can you sleep?" Wembley whispered from his bed. "Don't you ever worry about all the fun you're missing?" When there was no answer, Wembley whispered a bit louder. "Gobo, do you hear that click-tock, click-tock, click-tock noise?" "Doozer boots," murmured Gobo. "I told you last night, Wembley. It's just the sound of doozer boots marching along the rocky ledge." "Oh, now I remember," said Wembley. He scrambled down the ladder and stood beside Gobo's bed. "Maybe the doozers are tired," he said. "Do you think they like a helping hand?" Gobo groaned. "I told you the night before last, Wembley. Doozers don't get tired, but Fraggles do." "Oh," said Wembley with a sigh. Suddenly he smiled and snapped his fingers. "Then Boober must be tired," he said. "I'll go help him do the laundry right now." Gobo sat up. "Wembley," he began, but then he yawned. By the time he'd finished yawning, Wembley was gone. Gobo rubbed his eyes with his fists, then he stretched and sighed. He scratched his head, then fell over his bed. "Are you going on a trip with your Uncle Traveling Matt?" Red asked when she and Moki saw Gobo the next morning. "No," said Gobo, yawning. "Why do you ask?" Red giggled. "Because the bags under your eyes look like they're packed." "I wish I could pack my bags," Gobo said grumly. "I haven't gotten a full night's sleep since Wembley started staying awake all night." "Wembley? Then it really was him," Moki exclaimed. "The night before last, he woke me to ask if he'd like to go for a midnight swim." "I thought I was dreaming," said Red. "You," grumbled Boober, joining them at the Fraggle Pond. "He banged on my door last night." "Boober, what's wrong with your hat?" Moki asked. Boober's old brown cap had taken an odd new shape. "My hat is fine, but my head's not." Boober lifted up his cap to reveal a great big lump. "And it's all Wembley's fault," he said. "Wembley hit you on the head?" gasped Red. No, Boober explained. "When Wembley woke me up, I hurried to answer the door in the dark and I slipped on some spilled souffle." "Poor Boober," said Moki. "Poor all of us," said Red. "We've got to keep Wembley from staying up all night," Gobo decided. "And keeping everyone else awake, too," added Boober. "Perhaps he's afraid of the dark," Moki suggested. Boober disagreed. "Poor nutrition," he said. "Too many Moss burgers before bedtime. Or it could be the lack of vitamin F." "He doesn't get enough exercise," declared Red. "If he did, he'd be too tired to do anything but sleep." "It's because he can't make decisions," Gobo decided. "If Wembley puts his mind to it, He could sleep the whole night through. We must try to help him, said Moki. Good idea, agreed Boober. But let's do that later. After I've had a nap. It was nearly nighttime when the Fraggle friends arrived at Wembley's cave. What a nice surprise, he said. Now we can have a party. All we need are chips and dips and doozer sticks. Just as I suspected. Boober shook his head. No wonder you can't sleep, Wembley. Everyone knows that chips and dips and doozer sticks before bedtime can keep you awake for hours. Boober pulled a jar of his purpleberry juice from his knapsack. 2 sips of this, he said, and you'll be fast asleep in no time. Nothing to be afraid of, Wembley. Just watch me. Boober drank 2 gulps of his purpleberry juice. Then he yawned and stretched and sighed and said, See? Wembley has to agree. Boober did look very sleepy. I've got an idea that's much more fun, said Red. You run up and down the ladder to your bed, and you wiggle your nose every time you climb up, and touch your toes every time you climb down. Here, watch me. I'll show you what I mean. Up the ladder, Red scattered, and at the top, she wiggled her nose, then down she came and touched her toes. Then up again and down, and then Red yawned, stretched and sighed and said, You see, I'm already sleepy. I find nothing as soothing for sleep as a little night music, said Moki. So, this afternoon at Inspiration Cave, I've composed a lullaby especially for you, Wembley. When I sing it, you will relax completely. You will close your weary eyes and rest. And you will think the words and the music are fabulous. Moki started singing her brand new lullaby. It began, Go to sleep, Wembley, sleep. Take a load off your feet. By the time she got to the part that went, All your friends want to do is get some sleep too. Moki's eyes were closed. You see, she whispered. Then she yawned and stretched. There's nothing like a lullaby to put a Fraggle to sleep. Wembley looked around. Boober and Red and Moki are nearly fast asleep, he whispered to Gobo. They're going to miss all the fun. What fun? Asked Gobo. Why, all the fun that goes on in Fraggle Rock at night, Wembley explained. Is that why you've been staying awake all night? Gobo asked. Wembley, every Fraggle in Fraggle Rock goes to sleep all night. Everyone? Asked Wembley. Everyone but you, Gobo sighed. I guess I can go to sleep then, Wembley said, if I still remember how. It's easy, Wembley, said Gobo. All it really takes is a simple decision. You say to yourself, Self, it's bedtime. It's boring. There's nothing to do. I think I'll go to sleep. Then you close your eyes. Watch me. I'll show you how to do it. Gobo climbed into his bed and closed his eyes. He said to himself, Self, it's bedtime. It's boring. The next thing Wembley knew, Gobo was snoring. For 3 nights in a row, Wembley had wondered what he was missing when he slept. He'd been sure all of his friends were wide awake and having fun. Now he knew he wasn't missing anything. All of his best friends were asleep, except for Gobo snoring and the click-tock of Doozer Boots marching along the rocky ledge. The night seemed very still, and the cave seemed very cozy. Wembley took 2 sips of Boober's purpleberry juice, then he climbed up and down his ladder, just as Reg had shown him, and hummed a few lines of the lullaby Moki had written especially for him. And finally, surrounded by his sleeping friends, he crawled happily into his bed and closed his eyes. Self, it's bedtime, Wembley said. And it really is boring being awake when your best friends are asleep. There's no fun to miss. There's nothing to do. So thanks and good night to Boober, Red, and Moki and Gobo. And Wembley, he added. Good night to you too. I hope you all enjoyed this story, and I bet it probably made you guys a little bit tired. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys.